Welcome back, everybody, to Darkest Dungeon.
The spasmodically squirming, braying, and snorting half-corpses were heaped each upon the other until at last I was rid of them. The warrens had become a landfill of snout and hoof, gristle and bone, a mountainous, twitching mass of misshapen flesh fusing itself together in the darkness.
Hooray!
The thing is more terrible than I can describe. An incoherent jumble of organ, sinew, and bone.
So, to make a long story short, we are going to try to take the quickest path to the boss every time. And in addition, I know I didn't do the cove quite right. I wasn't really leveling up the cove along with everything else. I was sort of ignoring it in an effort to avoid running into the brigand wolf guy. Even though I don't think that really had anything to do with me not running into him. So because of that, I will be skipping over the level 2 fight with the sunken crew and the siren. We're just gonna skip those episodes and we're gonna go straight to the 3rd level version of those battles. There's not really anything all that different between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, other than the characters tend to do more damage. They tend to have more health. They tend to, you know, be more of a trouble. But if you can do level 3, then you can do level 2. Also, this guy in the back who just did cripple them, he is a random guy that occasionally shows up in dungeons, who's much tougher than most of the other guys you're going to run into. He does a lot of damage. He got a lot of health. Wouldn't say his resistances are all that great in comparison to the others, but he's definitely a guy who's kind of out of place with the amount of damage he does. Now that's what plus status effects. The 3 units was what, 6, 9. That would be 15. Yeah, he's a fucking pain in the ass. You want to get rid of him as quickly as possible. Obviously not letting the stress dealers do stress damage to you also being a consideration. You know, I don't know. I'm not a professional at this game by any stretch of the imagination. I'm good enough to know... I'm good enough to know that, like, certain teams synergize better. Like, for instance, Houndmaster, Bounty Hunter, Arbalist. Those 3 together are pretty good because their attacks are buffed by whenever you target down characters. So if you can use either one of those 3 characters to do a target, the other 2 can benefit from the target, plus, you know, obviously the following turn, whoever did the targeting can also benefit from it. But you get what I'm saying. It's, you know, I mean, instead of targeting one turn, waiting a full round, you target, use the first character that can target, and then have the other 2 clean up from behind so that they can take advantage of that extra damage boost.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
To a lesser degree, All Cultist also falls into that category because he can also do targeting, depending on how you want to use him. Characters have multiple, I guess I should say that. Characters have multiple applications. They don't strictly fit into one category. Though, depending on what you want to use your characters for, they tend to be more or less effective at that job. Like, for instance, Vestal, very good at healing. Can she also do other stuff aside from healing? Yeah, I mean, you could put her in row 2 and have her deal, like, kind of physical damage, but I don't necessarily know she fits that category as well as she does a healer. And you know, obviously Plague Knight is designed to do bleed, status effects, bleed, poison, stun, you know, so, but it's difficult for her to do all three. She can do one really well or two pretty okay, but she can't do all three efficiently. You know, you're sort of pulling her away from what she's good at, which is, in my case, I like to use her for poison, AoE poison. You know, stack poisons in the back 2 rows, and then when able, you know, put poison on the front.
Unforgiving.
Man-at-Arms is kind of hard to use because he's designed to be a protect character, and some of his trinkets tend to be opposite of what you would expect to put him. Like, he's got one of his base level trinkets is a shield that gives him extra healing if he's in the back row, but he can't heal himself. He's reliant. Well, he can heal himself, I think. I think he's got a very low level healed, like Crusader does. But again, he's sort of reliant. That trinket that you can put on him makes him sort of weird because you're protecting from the back row. So you're getting benefits strictly from that one trinket because it's giving him extra heal and defense in the back row, but he's less likely to be hit. So the entire strategy around it is him just protecting people, which is odd because if you speaking of odd, I like to play. As you can see, I've played this game almost exclusively where I'm only using one of each character type, even though, like a lot of characters, if you double or triple them up, it makes them more efficient. Like, sort of what I said with the targeting thing. Get 3 bounty hunters together. You cause, you know, you have 1 bounty hunter target, 1 with the axe, 1 pulls, and then, you know, you combine those 3 things together depending on who moves first, and you can really just rake in the damage very quickly. And not really a big, my own personal preference is what I should say. I'm not a big fan of doing that, even though the synergy is obviously there. It's obvious, the game's obviously designed for you to run multiples of a particular character. Like 2 Hellions constantly going back and forth where they're trying to dash the front of the line. That was pretty simple. We're almost to the boss already, so we're gonna sit down. We're gonna relieve some stress, and then we're gonna buff our guys here. And then from there, our plan is to have more or less have Vestal heal. Plague Knight's gonna do damage, poison damage, and then the Hound Master's job is gonna be stacking bleed, and then obviously Man-at-Arms, his job is gonna be more or less protecting. He's got this move that gives everyone 20% dodge, which you can only use once, but it's like really good. Of course, everything's always RNG based. There have been times where I've used his like stacked, like truly stacked evade. Like, here's a trinket that gives plus 20 evade. Here's another one that gives plus 30 evade. Use Man-at-Arms to give 20 additional evade. And then, like, you have a character like Jester who's naturally evasive, and you think like he should be untouchable, but he's not. Sometimes the game's just like, nah, fuck it. We're gonna roll nat 20s 5 times in a row and make it look like you didn't do anything.
Darkness closes in, haunting the heart.
This is another thing you have to worry about. Being woken up in the middle of the night and having to deal with these guys because you're on zero light. You get none of the bonuses and all the detriments of being on 0 light. So, plus you get mixed up because it's always a surprise. Whatever you call it. Yeah, I want the drummer dead because I just spent all that time healing up stress, and I can easily heal damage quickly. I cannot heal stress easily. Alright, we got guys sliding back into where they belong. Drummer's dead. We need to focus on the big fat guy in the front.
A powerful blow.
10 damage there. Poke it where it hurt. Oh. That's absolutely devastating damage right there. Dead.
Annihilated.
So that is one thing that Houndmaster's good against beasts. So most of the characters in this area are beast related. So he has kind of a natural advantage. You ever watch it run just completely flush down the commode? We're not going to actually stop here, but like, I'm going to have to evaluate the situation after they're all dead. I gotta heal, get rid of the bleed.
Press disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
Bye bye. I was hoping to get a heal in there with Vestal. That did not work out. Yeah, we're just gonna use all our food up. Unfortunate. If I run into another enemy, I'll be able to use more food. Plus, I'll be able to heal with Vestal as well, so... Alright, we did not get that lucky, unfortunately. We'll eat the rest of our food now. Alright, Vestal, your job is going to be almost exclusively to, you're just going to heal every turn. It's going to be your job, is just to use, maybe not a group heal, but like direct heal the first turn, and then group healing after that, depending on what this abomination does to me.
Contorting and ever expanding. This horror must be unmade.
Oh shit. Right to death's door, I love it. Lucky she didn't die. Alright, we're gonna heal you up so you're not in death's door anymore. Alright, here's the evade. Get her.
Masterfully.
That's what's great about this, is even though his stack bleed isn't that great. Oh, that's a great crit right there. That's half health. Even though he, I don't think his bleeds 3. Not bad actually, considering I just made everyone bleed. All 4 pieces bleed equally. So let's keep bleeding them. That's gonna be our job. We're just gonna keep stacking bleed here. So every time he attacks, he's gonna add additional rounds of bleed. Well, he's not really gonna add any real true additional rounds of bleed. He's just gonna add another stack of bleed on top of what was already there. But as you can see, 6 damage will then become 9 damage, then 12 damage. You can see how this kind of stacks up pretty quickly. Same with Plague Knight. We're going to focus down on hopefully getting Plague Knight going. Yeah, you need to heal the party. What we want to do. Kind of a... I mean, I appreciate the game giving this to me, but it is kind of kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie. If I can do, 13. Now, mind you, I've got stuff on Vestal to buff her healing ability. But if I can do like 13 healing without a crit, and then you take, the group heal and you add it up and you go 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I just did, if I do 5 health every time she uses the group heal, I did 20 heal as compared to like my singular heal one person for, 12. It's almost twice as much. Now mind you, I understand there's a downside with that. I'm healing 5 to each person, so in order to get to that 20 total heal, I gotta do it 4 times. But still, after 2 uses of the group heal, I've not only healed all of my guys, same rate, roughly, but also, like, yeah, keep stacking it. Even if that doesn't do any damage, the Blight's gonna do damage. See, 24. Every time those bots go, they're gonna do 24 damage to him. He's gonna be dead before we know it. Yeah, even if that doesn't work, that's okay. But the stacking of the bleeds is all that matters. Bleed and poison's all that matters. That's fine. That's fine. We're just gonna keep you off death's door here. Oh, you don't have poison anymore. Good. We're just gonna keep them off death's door as long as they don't get targeted down by the same guy. This will be over before we know it. Unfortunately, those are 2 heals in the front. So that was a net 0 there. That's 12 damage. Targeted the guy with most HP, and 13 HP kills you. So you didn't even get a heal a second time. That's the beauty of the stack. Stacking that. A return to the Hammett. So yeah, when you get to level 3 and you beat the guy, they give you a special trophy, which is a trinket that you can attach.
Something long absent in the sunken faces of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
Alright, we're gonna move on to a Darkest Dungeon run.
The stars are right, and the manor sits at the very epicenter of cosmic unrest. Cultists rally to their twisted idols, and great gongs sound in anticipation of the coming sacrifices. Far below, life-laden shadows pulse to the unrelenting rhythm of a beating heart.
So, I did not want to finish this month of October out
The blood of the
without making at least one attempt at the Darkest Dungeon. So this is us. We're actually going to make a legitimate try at the dungeon. But right off the bat, the game's going to kind of teach us something. This is also kind of a wall. Because what will happen is if these guys have the ability to heal themselves and heal the people that are around. So basically, if you're not able to out DPS them, this is a wall that's going to prevent you from moving on with the rest of the dungeon. That's just a guard thing. I'm not concerned with that, but basically between the 2 of them, they can heal, I think it's like up to 24 health. So, like, they've got 21 health, so, yeah, as you can see, just a... Now, if he had healed the right guy, the guy behind him, yeah, he'd be back at practically full health. So, these guys are actually a mixed blessing and curse. They're a problem because they'll start to appear behind stronger enemies, and their job is to basically act like Vestal, where they're going to guard and heal the actual damage dealing characters that are going to be in front of them. So on the one hand, you want to ignore them because they can't physically deal damage to you, but they keep other characters that can do massive damage to you alive, like this fucker. So again, this is a great example of a game teaching you. You just got two characters, you learned what they do. We're about to learn what this guy does all by himself with no healers behind him. And then we're going to combine these two things together. We're going to combine these priests, which are big damage dealing, bleed associated guys who have decent amount of health, as you can see. And
as the fiend falls,
he's not hard on his own, but you get two of those guys plus two of the cultist guys together, and then now we're getting powered up versions of these guys too. So these guys are just stronger versions of the occultists that we've been running into all game. They do have, I believe they are human. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm stunning the guy in the back because I don't want him healing or guarding one of these two guys. Such a waste. The ideal situation there would have been kill one of these three guys needs to be dead now. And unfortunately none of them have even significant damage dealt to them yet. So okay, so he chose to do flesh wall instead of heal, which is fine. This means that if I go to target him down, the middle guy down, it will just shoot him instead. So he'll be dead next turn, at the start of next turn, so we'll just focus on the guy in the front. Try to kill him if we're lucky. 15's pretty good damage. And then we'll jump forward with Gravedigger on the next turn.
Dazed, reeling, about to break.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alright, he's dead. Guy in the back's dead. I kinda don't want to use this attack, but I think he's gonna die anyways, but can't exactly skip my turn either. Alright.
Confidence surges.
Thank you.
As the enemy crumbles.
Can't help that. Run for a new god. Oof. Yeah, so you can see not only are these guys stronger, but they're kind of eldritchy. They tentacles and yucky bullshit like that. So we're gonna try to maintain or monitor our stress as we go through here. Right now we're doing an okay job. There's not really all that much stress. I'd like to keep them below half though, if possible. Because once they get over half stress, it only takes a set of, 2-3 guys just to wreck your day. Alright, in we go. Alright, so this is a fair team battle we're gonna do here. On the far back, we've got a healer, got a stress dealer, and then we've got fucking fuckface priest that I want to get rid of immediately. Like in terms of like, I mean, you could easily say, well, get rid of the stress dealer first, then focus on the priest. But like, I gotta get rid of the priest because he just does way too much damage and adds bleed on top of everything. I don't care about that. So I'm willing to take particularly with Jester in my party, I'm willing to take a little bit of stress damage. The Jester can just heal up instead of having to worry about multiple characters with bleed and have him reach into the back and just rip the shit out of Vestal. Dirk. That was a pretty good hit. If I could follow that up, that'd be great.
Compassion is
Everybody heals.
fevered pitch of battle.
The reason Vestal and Joker are so fucking Jester is so good is because if you look at those two bars you have, Vestal heals the red bar and Jester heals the bottom one. So if you can manage, which is something they don't do, I wouldn't say they don't do a good job of, but the game sort of, stress healing in this game is very prioritized to Jester and then a large gap in everybody else. There are characters like Crusader can do a little bit of healing and a little bit of stress damage healing, but it's not like you can stack it like you can with Joker, which is just amazing. That's fine, I don't care. I'll put an end to this.
Impressive.
Yeah, he just straight out ignores that. Isn't that great? I think that's one of his abilities. He gets to straight out ignore a hidden enemy.
This momentum.
I think that's just specific to that Jester that I have here. I don't think it's just specific to the class or anything. I attempted this once before, first level. Problem is I didn't bring enough food, and I thought the mission was much shorter, so I kind of fucked myself.